tasty beverage. Let's get in the groove. Synchronized, look now, we're on the move.
Good morning, stackers. Yeah, we're feeling fine. Good morning, stackers. It's podcast time.
Talking gold and silver and crypto too. With Joe and the gang, it's what we do.
Good morning, stackers. Yeah, we're feeling fine. Good morning, stackers. It's podcast time. We're stacking sats, we're stacking gold. In the world of finance, real gold. Every sip, every chart, we're on our way to financial freedom, come what may.
So grab that tasty beverage, let's get in the groove. Synchronized, look now, we're on the move.
Good morning, stackers. Yeah, we're feeling fine. Good morning, stackers. It's podcast time. Good morning, stackers. Yeah, we're feeling fine. Good morning, stackers. It's podcast time.
Yeah. So, did I miss much last week? Yeah. Interesting. I got the voice back. The voice is fantastic, but silver? Bitcoin? Gold? Well, we'll take a look at all of it. You are watching Good Morning Stackers with me, Joe Main. If you're watching this on the replay, use the time codes below to go to your favorite part. But if you're watching live, man, you get to enjoy every single thing we do here, including live gold, silver, platinum analysis, precious metals, Bitcoin, and crypto too. Wow, we've got a little bit to talk about. I missed all of last week's shows. Of course, when I go away, this is what happens. I go away and everything just goes burp, 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 burp. Now that I'm back, you can feel happy that everything's just going to go straight to the moon again. But of course, look, in the first minute of the show, what we do here is the synchronized slurp. You grab a tasty beverage, I grab my tasty beverage. We slurp them synchronously together for the first time this week and the first time in like a week and a bit. Here we go. Whatever you're drinking, slurp it. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, do it. Welcome to Good Morning Stackers, the week daily live show going out live on X and on YouTube. My name is Joe Main, some random dude in Melbourne in Australia coming to you. Who's this guy? What's he all about? I have never seen this show before. It's blah, blah, blah. I am a silver stacker. I've been a silver stacker since 2010. I've been a crypto stacker since 2013. Not so much at the moment. And I do this weekday live show. I worked for 3 major gold and silver bullion dealers here in Australia over the last 11, 12 years. I worked for Goldstackers. I worked for Bullion Now. You know and love me from Bullion Now. I launched and grew the YouTube channel. If you're familiar with them, you should be. All those epic unboxing videos, all that stuff you know and love. That was all me, baby. And I worked for Ainslie Bullion as well. I came in and revitalized their social media. Now I do this weekday live show and I help you launch and grow on social media, particularly YouTube channels. It's what I've been doing for, going a long time now. So if I can help you with your business, which I know I can, help you launch and grow YouTube and your other social media, hit me up with an email. That would be at gmstackers@gmail.com, gmstackers@gmail.com. Of course, the show is brought to you by Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au. You'll hear a little bit more about them at some point within the show, but I've got to get my shout outs out. It's been a while. Then we'll talk about where the silver bottom is potentially today. We'll look at the live charts and all that other stuff that we do. Lots of people watching already, and I've got to get through a mountain of shout outs. Of course, super chats are on. What that does is, of course, that helps me support the show. Okay, it helps you, help me. Yeah, support the show by using super chats. That's always a great idea. Plus, because there's so many people watching these days, if you really need me to see a specific comment, because I may read out some of them, if you need me to see something, do a super chat, little as $2, and then I will definitely read it out, okay? Because they get to my notifications. GMS says Maximus. He is the first one in. Good to see you. Gerald Draper, excellent. By the way, I felt my White Rock position is right behind on. Yes. Niels Hahn Dynasty, all the cool people are in this morning. Jake's Custom Parts is back. Howdy everyone. Tony Peterson is really happy because now we're back on daylight savings time has finished. So now we're even Stevens. 9:30 Australian Eastern Daylight Saving 9:30 a.m. Melbourne time is now 9:30 Queensland time. Well, time to sleep. I do agree. Morning, Joe. Morning, Jason. Good to see you for the first time this week in a week or so. I'm not slurping today. I'm gulping. Jason. GMS, everyone's here today. Excuse me with that lighting. I'll fix that right there. There we go. Excuse me. It's been a week. And a bit. Big week, lots to catch up on. Yes. Jason says bought unallocated. On the dip over the weekend. And this morning it's still going down. Yeah, dollar cost averaging. Yeah, that's all good. I'd like to know, where did you buy unallocated from? Can you tell me that, Jason? I'd really like to know. Always the way. Yeah, exactly right. Welcome back, Joe and Chat Mum. Thank you. No problem. GMS the Don. Silent Stacker is back as well. I'll try and get through as many of these as possible. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Hi, Joe. I shared some charts for silver on the Telegram. I did see those. Thank you. I'll have a deeper look into those. Mon is back. Hello, Mon. Good to see you. Sino. Good morning, Stackers. Hope everyone enjoyed their weekend. Strap in for another roller coaster week. You could be correct. We'll get to that in a second. Madeline is back. Madeline or Madeline, morning stackers, good time to buy more silver, I think you're trying to say. And it's also 7:30 now for Monique in WA instead of 6:30. You're welcome. I did that just for you. I changed daylight savings time just for you, people. Ounces. I haven't seen you on the channel before. Ounces, unless you've changed your name. Good morning. I checked the markets and the screen was so red I was getting a sunburn. Yeah, Caroline as well. Oh man, good man. This is exactly, not Caroline. This is exactly what I wanted to hear. Bought at Perth Bullion Exchange over the weekend. Oh, and then Bullion Now this morning. Okay, so you bought some unallocated at Perth Bullion Exchange and some unallocated at Bullion Now this morning. Okay, out of interest, Perth Bullion Exchange's unallocated program is modeled basically exactly like Bullion Now's unallocated program, except the spreads are even cheaper. Okay, so hot tip, who's the best dealer? Even though I worked for Bullion Now for 3 years, I was their first employee and I launched and grew their YouTube channel to where it is today. Well, not where it is right now, but not too much lower than where it is now. And I know and I love them. Who's the best bullion dealer in all of Australia? It is Perth Bullion Exchange. perthbullion.com.au. Shall we? Yes, shall. Ouch. Let's take a look at the precious metals. Where is the silver bottom? I'm going to actually start with gold today because there's something I want to show you because I've got it all set up on my little tradingview.com little thing here. Something I want to show you I find interesting, and then we'll talk about gold, where the lower prices are on there. We'll talk about silver, where the potential silver bottom is. I think most of you can guess where I am going to say where it is, based on all the people that have watched me since I started this show in June of last year. Nearly 1,500 subscribers, by the way, in that small amount of time. 3,500, over 3,500 followers on X as well. Doing absolute great guns. Hit the big red subscribe button to join said GMS family. Okay, cool. Here is gold. That's a bit of a big head right there. Let me just... There we go. Here is gold. This is on the daily time frame, and I'm taking you back just for a minute. I find this stuff very interesting. Is it remarkably predictive, or is it in hindsight? It doesn't really matter. I just wanted to show it to you. I find this interesting. So this is going back. This is the daily time frame, tradingview.com website. This is when we were back at 2000, sorry, there. This is when we were back at $2,915 back on the 11th of March, okay? Not that long ago, all right? And I had been showing you this Fibonacci, so from the previous all-time high of 2,955 and this recent dip. And I said, okay, so we've got this high and this low. And gee, interesting, isn't it, that we found some resistance at the 0.786. That was at 2,930 US dollars. Resistance, 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 resistance. We spiked to it 4 times, yet we failed 4 times to close any day above it, okay? Then, gee, where did we find support? Down at the 0.382 at that 2880 level. So I did say on this day, I said we need to clear and hold this level right here of $2,930, okay? And I said must clear for new all-time highs coming soon, okay? So if you start clearing above there, closing days above there, then, okay, really, really down good likelihood that new all-time highs are coming, okay? So let's see what happened, all right? The next day, okay, we closed the day above it. That's a very good sign. So I said, okay, close the day above it. I mean, I prefer weeklies and monthlies, but we close the day above it. That's a really good sign. That now has to act as support. And then it's looking good for, you know, a new all-time high in gold. Following day, oh, shit. All right. New all-time high in gold, 2,988 US dollars. All the meanwhile through, if you remember, and I think most of you do, I have been saying for, was this since late last year? I had been saying gold's starting to look peaky, okay? It's looking peakish, all right? It's peaking, okay? We've got weekly potential bearish divergences. We have this potential daily bearish divergence playing out where, and I said here, you can have a higher high, but if this doesn't close in a higher high, then you could see a divergence with the price going up and then the relative strength index either going down or sort of remaining flat. Okay, but out of interest, I did say we closed over 2930, so new all-time highs coming. Then the following day, this is just out of interest, right? Following day, right there, cool. The next day, up to that past the $3,000 mark. Finally. And out of interest, I didn't make note of this, but you're going to see it in just a second. I didn't even notice this, okay? This is a Fibonacci extension from this high and this low. Didn't even make note of it, didn't mention it to anyone, didn't even think of it myself, but this was the 2.618, okay? Go forward, okay, fantastic. Down, finding some support. Gee, around about that 3,000 level, psychological. We're creeping up here. Isn't this interesting? We're creeping up here on the relative strength index, maybe going to make a higher high. Okay, so then that would be higher high on the fiat dollar price, potential higher high on the relative strength index that could indicate a continuation of the trend. Okay, next, a bit of a dump, no problem. That took a little turn there on the relative strength index, another one. Okay, cool. The next day, and bang, straight back through, new all-time high. Next couple of days, right there, next one, and interestingly, we found a peak right here that was at 3,150. That's close to this, interestingly, 2.618 Fibonacci from this high and this low, and then we made another play for it, and it was a failed move. So that's where we did see the divergence playing out right here. So we did make a play for it, but it failed to close above. Interestingly, that 3,150 level, we did make a high here, 3,168 US dollars. I'll show you something else in just a second, but since then and the following day, bang, and this is where we are right now. Let me close out of that. And this is where we are today. So today we are at $2,989 as of right now. This has very clearly been the high. Okay, that's absolutely in. Not for the longer term, but for this short term, it's absolutely the case. Now, I do find it very interesting that this is the 0.2618 from this high and this low. This is a significant high and a significant low. Okay, and then we found resistance there. We didn't find resistance here, but we found it here at the Fibonacci. And what was I saying about this bearish divergence? What did happen, what did play out, is we did have finally a higher high. And that's obviously obvious high. And did we make a higher high on the relative strength index? No, sir, we did not. We, in fact, not even flattened out. We technically made a lower high that was very clear. Bearish divergence right there. And as I had been saying for a bit, gold's been looking a bit peaky, running out of steam, all that kind of stuff. And what goes up must come down. Okay, so this is all obvious stuff. Out of interest, and I did say that this was a very broad range, so I'm not going to say, ho, look at me, man. But it's not that one. Give me a second. There you go. I said, yeah, I'm not going to claim this one, but I did say to 2,900 to 3,200 next stop. And we've certainly seen towards the top end of that. So about $30 off, $40 off the top at 3,200. It did feel somewhere in here. Again, it's a really wide range. $300. I think anyone could have said, oh, watch out, it's $300 range. Okay, I get that. But yeah, we have found that. We certainly haven't, broken out through 33, 35, 3,600, anything like that. Definitely in that range. Again, it's a wide range, so I'm not going to say, but I just found that interesting. So here's the question now. Where could we find a potential low? So I'm going to use a different Fibonacci, and I'm going to hide you. And I'm going to show you. This is the other interesting thing I did want to show you, though. I'm going to get rid of this. And now I'm going to take, watch this 2,930. Remember that? We talked about it before. Now I'm going to take a significant low to this now significant-ish high. That's definitely, because we've broken through here, that's definitely a significant high to use, okay? And the most recent significant low to use would be all the way back down here. So I'm going to use that at 2,500, and I take it from there to there. So I'm going to use Fibonacci, and we're looking for now the area of support, the zag zone, the expected support range that we need to hold in order to say, this is just a short-term blip. It could be weeks or months, but over the longer term, we're still going onwards and upwards. So I'm going to take it from here, and I'm going to take it from here. And what did I ask you? I asked you to watch out for that 2,930 line. Where does that hit? Bang on it. I just find this stuff very interesting, this Fibonacci. Again, this was a 0.786 level from this high and this low. And then when we zoom out to a price that hadn't even occurred yet, when you take it from this significant low and this significant high, the 2,930 is right there at the 0.382. If I get rid of that, now this is where, that's the very top end of the expected support range. That's the zag zone, as ASX Trader would call it. So let me show you right here. This is the expected support range that you will probably come back and test and that you need to hold, okay? So that's it right there. Interestingly, 2,930 down to 2,775. Cool. So that's what I'm now expecting, just so you know. So 2,930 to 2,775 expected support range. Okay, get it? Got it? Good. Is that going to come up for me when I click out of it? Yes, it is right there. That's now where I'm expecting gold to come down to and at least test. Okay, so I'm expecting 100%. I don't say 100%. I'm 99% sure we're going to have a test of that 2,930. So that's what you would want to, that's where you would preferably want to see it find support at. Don't forget, we'll be getting to silver in just a second. This is probably going to be quite heavy precious metals today. I will do crypto. This might be an extra long show today because I missed all of last week. But gold, yeah, definitely at least going to touch here. What it does from here, I don't know. You would want to see it do that and close above 3,000 again, and then, okay, onwards and upwards. Doubtful that's going to happen. Okay, you're probably more likely to come back into the middle of the expected range, and watch out for the 0.5 level. That's at 2,850. Okay, so one of a couple of things. Bounce there, and you do not want it to cross here at 2,775. Call it roughly, okay? That you want to see a decent bounce, and then you need to see that onwards and upwards we go. You do not want to see, ignore the way it's going to happen, okay? Ignore the pattern, but you don't want to see that. Nope. Bad news bears. Okay, then we're heading down further. Okay, so that's the zone that you need to find support. Or else the question becomes, well, why isn't it finding support there? Why aren't buyers stepping in? Why aren't they stepping in here? Why aren't they stepping in here? Why aren't they stepping in this zone? Okay, that sets up a larger narrative, okay, or a different narrative. So that's definitely the line in the sand. 2,775, 2,780. Out of interest, it just so happens to roughly coalesce with this previous high here. Isn't that interesting? And that's it's around about your 2,800, your 2,780 kind of level. That's where I'm expecting the expected support range to be. So watch out for that. And at bare minimum, 2,930, we're coming down to. I favor down in here at 2,850. Okay, that's gold. Cool. But gold over the longer term is looking great. Okay, don't worry about the short-term noise. Let me just quickly show you, I guess, the longer term. If I can hide you, and I will hide you, and I will get rid of you. Let's quickly go back to the mother of all trend lines and see where we are with that, the Moatl. What is the Moatl? The Moatl is, look where we are. That's fine, man. Look at the Moatl. This is the absolute low. Now, if we break through that 2,775 level, that 0.618 level, that's setting it up for lower moves, but it doesn't mean we're anywhere. It doesn't mean it's the death knell for gold, okay? So the absolute lows that I'd be looking for in gold, let me get rid of that, is at the mother of all trend lines. I would expect a massive support level to hold there, and if it doesn't, well, that's really bad. Okay, so this is the high from 1980, the high from 2011, which formed the mother of all trend lines, the Moatl. Of course, I have been saying, and many other people have been saying, we did finally break out of it, and eventually you were going to have an area that you break out at, and then you're going to have a retest. That's also on the cards, by the way. So ignore the time frame, but that is very much on the cards. That could come down to anywhere like down to your $2,700 range, okay, over a period of time. And that wouldn't be surprising whatsoever, and I wouldn't be panicked by that whatsoever. What I would be starting to get very concerned with is if we do that, and that's not good news. I don't think that's happening, okay? We've broken out of the mother of all trend lines, okay? This is just onwards and upwards over the longer term. Expecting that, I'm not expecting that, but getting to there wouldn't be surprising around about that 2,700 level. Again, if that 2,780, 618 Fibonacci zag zone doesn't hold a support, coming down to here, and then probably doing something like a good old Nike tick, something like that. Again, over the longer term. And of course, we're talking $8,000-$10,000 gold in, 5-10 years time, that kind of thing. That is on the cards. It really is at the moment. And that's what I will stick with unless we start breaking and really breaking that. But I don't think we're going to do that. Cool. Gold is looking great over the longer term. Watch out for those support levels on the short term. All right, that's the big gold thing. Let's take a look at silver, because you are asking. Okay, I will get rid of you, and I'll get rid of, didn't bounce in there. I will do that, and I'll do that. No, I'll keep you. 1980s, I need my 1980s. What is that? I don't want you. Give me 1 second, people. Horizontal line. No, I'll just do that. All right, here we go. Ouch. Silver. Where is the bottom? Man, has this ever tanked? Okay. The silver squeeze was certainly the sell on the news event. It looks like Silver Squeeze Day, March 31st. Not long after that. Okay, and it was looking clear on a bearish, on a daily time frame. We had a bearish divergence playing out. Okay, so let me just show you where's the bottom. We'll take a look at that in just a second. But let's just see where we came from. Trend line. I want to hide that. No, that's the one. Why did I want to hide that? Okay, that's why. There you go, son. Right. there. So take a look at this trend line on the daily time frame, and I'll prop in the relative strength index. You can very clearly see when we came up, this is on just before March 31st, okay, a couple of days before Silver Squeeze Day, sell on the news event. You see that we had a higher high on the fiat dollar price, but we actually had a lower high on the relative strength index. That's setting up a bearish divergence pattern. Now, what I did say is watch out for silver dipping. And I did say bounce in here, please. And I think that was going to be based on this Fibonacci here. That would have been based on that and that. Yes, it was. Okay, so it was based on here. And that's in your normal expected support range. That's between the 0.382 and the 0.618. And I said, bounce in here, please. If you don't bounce in here, if you break through there, well, then you're going to go lower. And we certainly did see that. The last few days has been carnage for silver investors. But if you're a silver investor and not a silver trader, well, it doesn't really matter too much over the longer term, because you might see this as a perfect opportunity to load up more. And if you're dollar cost averaging, hey, if your next paycheck happens to be around about this time, man, you're just buying every single paycheck, $100, $200, whatever it is for you, man, you're averaging your cost in lower right now, so good for you. So I like to keep on the positive side. Let's see, we have gone back into, and I don't think I can even find it. Let me just see. Do I have my $28? I have to go right down to the bottom of my stuff. Best buy zone, yes I do. Oh, we are nearly back. Remember this old chestnut that we had drawn in for a while? $28, anywhere down to 26 US dollars. Let me get rid of that one. Cool. So very clearly, and I'll get rid of this bounce in here, please. Yeah, and I did say 31 was big confluence. Okay, I'll keep that in too. So here's where we are. Here's where we are. We are looking, out of interest, very oversold or undervalued on the daily time frame on the relative strength index. So we've already gone into extremely oversold, undervalued. So I don't think the dip is going to last that much longer. Okay, we will be turning out of this, as we always do eventually. Look at this. Look at. You spend time. Now you can spend a decent amount of time. The price can go down lower. But once you get into extremely oversold or overvalued, you don't spend forever there. You do eventually tick up. Now, that, as I said, that can mean, though, that you can spend more time in the fiat dollar price can go lower. Okay, you can very clearly see here. Actually, back here in May of 2022, we're at around about $20.50. We went into extremely oversold, undervalued. And then we had a period when we went back into the normal range, but then we even had a lower low. Okay, so just bear in mind it can go lower, but you don't spend forever there. So we're back at that point right now. For me, I think you guys are going to know where my silver bottom is. It is at the infamous $25.80, $25.70 level. I call it technically the $26 level, the infamous 26. So that is my bottoming area. I don't think we go lower than there. So where is the silver bottom for me? If we get there, the silver bottom is at that $26 area. Technically, it is $25.70. Now, why is that? Because I use the Fibonacci from the old school 1980s to the early 1990s thing, right? That's this one right here. As you know, I've used it for a long time, and I find it to be somewhat predictive. Okay, a lot of it is in hindsight, but even when you take a look at this, it's very confluent. Okay, so the old high of 1980, the old lows of the 1990s, this high and this low forms these Fibonacci lines. We're not even in the Fibonacci extensions yet. Okay, for silver, we're still just trapped in the trapped in underneath the previous all-time high, of which we will be breaking eventually. But you can see very clearly here the 0.5 level right there. That was that level, that $25.70, $26 level right there, was an area of major support for a very, very long time. I've harped on this many, many times before. After we made the double top in 2011, that $26 level, $25.70 level, massive support. We never thought it would go under, and then it finally did. And then it acted as major resistance. Then recently, we finally broke out of it. And once we broke out of $26 and we held above it for a decent amount of time, I said, oh, okay, onwards and upwards we go, looking really good, and it's not just a flash in the pan. Okay, out of interest though, I'll show you this one too. Where is my trend line? Is it that one? No, it's not that one. Is it that one? There she is. Remember this? Okay. We finally broke out, and this is when we broke out of the $26 area. I know this is a little bit detailed, and I'll get rid of my best buy zone for you just so you can see that. Okay, right there. That downtrend line. So from $50, okay, all the way back down through this trend line right here. That was in February of 2021. We formed this downtrend line, and it had been acting as resistance. Then we finally broke up and through that 26 level, and I said, okay, this is 99% sure we're in bull market territory. I needed to see it close over 31. It started closing over 31. And I said, okay, it's bull market, man. We're good to go over the longer term. I did say, I've been saying this for a while, and I'm not saying it's absolutely going to happen, but I did say we haven't yet technically had a test of this downtrend line. I guess maybe if I was going to call it, you could say, if you wanted to, that maybe max pain, as I wrote here, max pain is on this trend line. So I'm actually going to amend, my apologies, I'm going to amend my silver bottom, okay? I think you'll find the support here at the Fibonacci at probably no lower than that $25.70, but absolute max pain, which would scare the ever-loving shit out of everyone, is right here at that downtrend line. And that would be, as I've been saying for quite a while, that would be a quick move. So that's, for me, I think the area which we might find max pain at. So that you could be anywhere down to like your 24 kind of dollar level. I don't see it lower than that. Some people might be calling down here at the other Fibonacci level of that $20.50. I don't think so. I think break out of a trend line, come back to test that trend line would be max pain. People would be freaking the F out. But I think you'll find a sort of a confluence of support around about that $26 area. Okay. Or somewhere within that best buy zone. Again, 28 to 26. Yeah, so that's it there. That was really not very specific for you, was it? So I apologize. I'll be as specific as I can. Yeah. Major bottom area at that $25.70, $26 area with a potential quick spike down to this trend line. Don't know where that is, but you're looking at that's about a dollar something difference. Okay, so in that zone right there is the expected support area for me. So call it that. Cool. Now, could we just completely bounce off 28 and onwards and upwards? Sure, I'd love to see that, but that's just the max bottom right there. And everyone loves a max bottom. That is silver. That is where I think the bottom is going to be, no lower than there. If we start cruising below that trend line, ooh yeah, then you're talking about $20.50 in that area. Don't think we're getting there. Okay, that's a bit of a stretch for me at this stage. Are you dollar cost averaging? Post a comment below and let me know what you're doing. That's gold and silver. Oh yeah, got to show you this. Dang, here's the gold to silver ratio. Woo, we have had a massive move. We're at a 104 on the gold to silver ratio. As this is moving up, gold's outperforming silver. As it's going down, silver is outperforming gold. Gold has had a bit of a dip, but silver has been smashed way more. That's why you're seeing the gold to silver ratio jump right up. Do you remember I said if we closed above that 96 point something area, that means we're probably heading up higher? Well, we did that. Okay, we closed above that 96 point something area there. Looks like we're making a play up to around about 112, I think is your next step. I think that was based on Fibonacci from memory, but watch out for 112. Whether we break the previous all-time high of 125 based on this chart, that is, I don't know, but watch out for 112 on the gold to silver ratio. Should you be buying gold here or should you be buying silver here? You know the answer. You know the right answer. As the gold to silver ratio is rising, silver is just becoming more and more highly undervalued because eventually it does change, and wherever it drops from, it will drop. Okay, well, does it drop from here? at 112? I don't know. Does it drop from 125? I don't know. Does it go to 150, 140? Sure, might do. But eventually it does drop, and it will get eventually back to more normal kind of ranges, anywhere down between sort of your 80 to your 50 kind of level. So imagine buying silver here, waiting until it gets back to the normal level of around about 80. Hey, that's great. If you're buying silver up at 140, I'm not saying it's going to 140 or 150, but imagine you're doing it up here and you're going, oh, gold's just like the flavor of the year, man. Silver is just lagging behind. Okay, why would I buy silver here? You buy silver here, imagine doing that, and then it gets back to just its normal range. Top end of its normal range at 80. You've almost doubled the amount of silver in your hands. Okay, so as it's going up, silver is the better play, okay, as it gets into the outlying territory. But yeah, back over 100. I'm expecting a test of around about 112 at this stage. So watch out for that. Excuse me. Still getting over the sickness. Shit. All right, haven't looked at platinum for a bit. Dang, here is platinum. Here is platinum on the weekly time frame, priced in USD. We are back at my best buy zone. Back in the best buy zone. 900 to 750 US dollars right there. How the hell did we do that? Well, gold and silver had a dump and platinum dumps with it. This is on the daily time frame. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, we failed to close above that level, which I had drawn in right there at that $1,010 level. Failed move. Oftentimes from a failed move as a fast move in the opposite direction. And we are back there, man. Third chance. You guys have a third chance to buy platinum in the best buy zone. Okay. Whew. Now I did say, and I could be wrong on this, I did say, I'm pretty sure, that if we had another test of the best buy zone, we're probably going to get into the belly of the best buy zone. So there's a good potential that we could find a quick dip down into the belly of the best buy zone, and I think it is, yeah, there it is right there at 840 and 870, I think it is, right there. Let me find you. Let me, no, yes, excuse me. There, and there's your 840. There is your 870. Okay. So on balance of probability, on platinum, looks like we might potentially have a test into the belly of the best buy zone. Again, anywhere between $900 to $750. I don't think $750 is coming, but watch out for 870 US dollars. Okay, that's doesn't look like we're going to bounce straight back here. Okay, so watch out for 870, I think, as a level to look out for. And after that, 840 US dollars, leaning towards 870 at this stage. Cool. That is platinum. For those of you who love platinum, what an amazing opportunity to load up. Okay, fantastic. But at the moment, I'm in ultra depressed zone for platinum. Depressed in terms of the pricing. I need to see it clear at least above 980 US dollars, and then we'll start talking, cautiously optimistic. Not there at the moment. I think we get down a little bit lower. That is platinum. Cool. Have I done all that stuff? Yes, I have. There is so much to talk about today, and I'll get to all your comments. By the way, if you're looking at buying, which I certainly hope you are, you should be buying from Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au. Why? They are the best bullion dealer in all of Australia. No, I'm not joking. Yes, I've worked for 3 of the major bullion dealers. Yes, I should have an affinity. I do have an affinity for all of them. Some more than others, I'll say. One day I'll tell that. One day I will tell that story. I'll tell that story. There's actually quite a few stories to tell. What was I going to say? Even though I've worked for 3 major bullion dealers in all of Australia, in Australia, Perth Bullion Exchange is absolutely kicking goals. They're doing it the best. Why? They're doing all the great things that those other bullion dealers are doing, except they're offering extra stuff like, well, price matching. Okay, if you can find a better deal on the same item in stock at another major bullion dealer, they'll match the price. Okay, so that's number 1, tick, right? Number 2 is, well, gee, do you always have to pay shipping at Perth Bullion Exchange? No, sometimes you get free shipping. Do any other bullion dealers offer free shipping? No, because they're stingy pricks. Yeah, I'm on fire today. No, they don't. So Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au is the only dealer in Australia that offers you free shipping when you buy over any amount whatsoever. You could buy $1 million worth of precious metals at another bullion dealer in Australia, and they'll go, oh yeah, and that'll be X amount to ship to you. Really? Really? Okay, all you have to do is spend all you have to do is buy, not even spend. There's no minimum dollar spend. There's a minimum quantity spend. Okay, have 20 or more items in your shopping cart of any item of any price, and you can mix and match one of this, two of that, three of that, seven of that. As long as you have 20 or more items total in your order, you get instant free shipping, Australia-wide, express delivery, sign-on delivery, all that other good stuff, except it's for free. Come on, bro. As Joe Biden would say, come on, man. You must be buying from Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au, and out of interest, as Jason Ashworth said, they have an unallocated program which you can buy precious metals at spot price. Okay, let me say that again. If you've never heard this before, you can buy precious metals at spot price using an Perth Bullion Exchange's unallocated gold program. Unallocated just means you're not holding on to the physical metal yourself. You're not taking delivery of the metal. It's real metal held at Perth Bullion Exchange, okay, as a pool of metal. You're going to a big pool of metal. So the way it works is, if 1,000 people buy, if Perth Bullion Exchange sells 1,000 ounces worth of unallocated silver in one day, it means they have to actually go out and purchase 1,000 ounces of silver. Now that might be a 1,000 ounce bar, okay, but you get your little portion of that, okay, and you are buying it at spot price, okay. Now what happens later on is if you want to sell it for cash, well, you will pay a little fee, okay, and that fee is $1 per silver ounce. But you can also redeem for physical, okay? If you want to redeem it for, a 1 ounce Asahi bar or something, all you're doing is you're paying the difference between spot price. Think of it like you've prepaid the spot price. Now, this doesn't matter wherever spot price goes. Spot price could double in the time that you've bought your unallocated. But all you're paying is the premium difference, and this is the magic of it, okay? So think of it like your spot price has already been taken care of, no matter whether spot price is at $100 an ounce, okay? So if you want to buy an elemental mint round, okay, and let's say the normal premium, pick a premium, let's say it's $7 over spot price, you're just paying that $7 difference, no matter whether you bought unallocated silver at $50 spot price and it's now $100 spot, you're still paying that only the $7 difference, okay? So think of it like I'm buying my spot price portion, and then if I want to turn it into physical, I just pay the premium difference. Or again, you can sell it back to cash and there's a bit of a fee and all that. It's amazing. Look into the unallocated gold and silver program at Perth Bullion Exchange as well. That's perthbullion.com.au. Comments? Queries? Let's get into some comments, then we'll do some crypto, some Bitcoin as well, and all that. Do I have any super chats? No super chats. No one loves me. No one loves me. You know who does love me? Tony Pearson loves me. And I did mention that Tony Pearson sent me a lovely private super chat a couple of weeks ago, and I very much appreciated that. I did mention that last time. And I get wonderful super chats from you wonderful people every now and then. Let's do some comments. I'm not going to get through all of them again. We have 180 something people watching right now. I have 150 comments to get through. I can't get through all of them. If you want me to see something specific and read it out at the same time, Super Chat will help. Right now they are on. You are watching Good Morning Stackers live on X and on YouTube. Jason Ashworth. People before were saying the Great Reset by the World Economic Forum was the rich robbing from us. Now it seems people think it is a great thing and happy about it. I wonder why. I don't know the context of that. My apologies. Interestingly, it seems to be that the everyone talks about the WEF, the World Economic Forum. They're the the oligarchs and the this and that, they're controlling everything, and then secretly, and this isn't this wasn't my observation, by the way, this was someone else's. Secretly, USAID was the one that was doing it the whole entire time. It kind of more seems like that the WEF is just these kind of LARPing people who just like, oh, we think we know what's good for the world. Let's have a summit every now and then, and we'll just get people to come and talk. Whereas good old USAID, who was funding all the NGOs, the non-government organizations, with names like the World Peace Initiative, peace, like all that kind of bullshitty stuff, was just totally just money laundering. Totally. That's so. It's the old. It's look at the right. Look at my right hand. Look at my right hand. Look at my right hand, and then the left hand is doing all the other stuff. Yeah. Let's see. I've never seen it drop a whole dollar instantly before with no staggering down. Historical drop. Yeah. Let's see. Gerald Draper. I guess I'm a lucky speculator following the actions of buying habits, wallet addresses, and certain ways to have alerts and common sense to navigate and pick a horse and place your trifecta bet. Gerald is tooting his horn, and that's okay. No worries. Ondo, XPR, and ZBCN. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Ondo in the real world asset space. Let me just pop that on there. Looks like a great one. I've been in Ondo previously. Great buying price on silver. We are definitely headed into the best buy zone, says CT. Now, hey, good to see you on the show, CT again. CT from the Lone Star State in Texas. Now, because one person is saying that, I go, yeah, you could be right. Now, if a whole bunch of you were saying, we're definitely heading down to there, definitely heading there. If I've got like 50 comments going, we're definitely heading down to $25, or it's going to $20 US dollars, then I go, oh, what's the herd saying? And do I need to think about the different, the contrarian view to that? But yeah, probably heading into that best buy zone, potentially. Let's see. I've got so many comments here. Maximus, silver looks like a head and shoulders with a break of neckline on the weekly. You could be right. Let me have a quick look at that, my friend. Let's go back to that. Let's get rid of all the flotsam and jetsam. Oh, right. Do you remember we talked about this? We talked years ago. This was years ago. Do you remember we talked about that? Do you remember that? We did. I remember that very clearly. We did talk about that. We talked about a potential head and shoulders, didn't we? Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Now, someone pointed out to me, and I did agree. I did actually go, oh yeah, you're probably a fair point. They said, and other people said, oh look, I don't know if that neckline is too steep. It looks just a little bit too steep to call that a head and shoulders pattern. And I don't think we can call that a head and shoulders, really, because we did climb way almost back up to the previous high right there. So I don't think that's a confirmed head and shoulders. I actually think that was an invalidated head and shoulders, but it got also, the bearish divergence came into play there. So I wouldn't call that a head and shoulders. I just think that's too high. That's too close to there. Look at that. Right? That's too close. Right? To call that a head and shoulders, excuse me, I'm still a bit chesty. You would have wanted, that would have been more likely the head, that would have been the head and shoulders to match there. Yeah, but we came up a little bit too high. So I don't think it was a head and shoulders, but it's doing the similar thing anyway. But I guess the point where you were making, Maximus, there is if that's breaking the neckline, well, the neckline is the neckline is not there. That's the neckline. Okay, so that's the break of the neckline, and then there's a measured move. That can easily take it down to there, down to that, zone we're talking about. Although I'm going to say, I see what you're saying on that, Maximus. I'm going to say that's not, though, technically a head and shoulders, but that's definitely a bearish divergence, which really has really played out. Let's see, go back to, give me 1 second. I need to check a message because it's the missus. What's the missus saying? Oh, just sending me photos. Stop sending me photos of my beautiful children during my live show because I think something's wrong. Let's see. Go back here. There is nothing to fear. Enjoy the ride. Much of a part of the journey as the destinations are wide. Sino once said, good old fishing man, Sino's fishing adventures. Well, I do agree. There is nothing to fear but fear itself. Chris Phipps, man, back on deck from PDX Portland, Oregon. I've made seven silver purchases within the last week. Good on you, man. I'm the type who buys the dip. Then when it dips more, I keep buying more to try and catch the bottom. Yep, fair enough. This knife started falling early this afternoon, Central Standard Time here in the States. If it's Sunday, yeah, right. Comments. My postman is going to get a workout when it all starts coming in. Yeah, exactly. I hope you I hope you trust your postman really, really well. Excuse me. I am still coming off that sickness. That's why I missed last week's all of last week's shows. That's a $1 in the swear jar, Joe. Swear jar's getting a nice workout today. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I think that's all the comments that I can do for the moment. Hit the like button, people. We're about to get into some crypto stuff. Sorry for all the coughing. Out of interest, I bought this. No, there is not nicotine in there. No. There is not nicotine in there. Remember everyone, a couple of weeks ago, I tried nicotine for the very first time in my adult life, like I tried it in my childhood, for the first time ever. Never smoked a cigarette, and I tried nicotine gum. I haven't really been back on it much. I've tried a little bit, not so much. Anyway, what's this? This is a nebulizer. So, as you know, I'm a vocalist. I've been a vocalist, a lead singer for 25 years, and this is what actually got me through my performance on Friday. I had some vocal troubles, as you know, and I had an upper respiratory tract infection. I bought this on Wednesday night. Amazon delivered it on Thursday, and I sucked all this steam back. It's actually saline, technically. It's a saline solution, and it micronizes and goes, and it lubricates my vocal cords. That's what's actually saved me, and that's why I can do this show for you today. Let's take a look at crypto. I would love for you, if you don't mind, could you please also follow me on X? That would be really helpful. Nearly 3,600 followers on X. I am going live right there now. That's at It's Joe Main right there. It's Joe Main. Oh, and also I really need you. I don't think I can find it now. No, excuse all that. Don't worry about that. Follow me on X, please. That would be lovely. X.com/It's Joe Main. Can you do that? That would be lovely. I am going out live right now. Let's take a look at, ooh, silver's tanking even more, 28.65. Ouch. Anyway, let's get to Bitcoin. Oh, shite. Dang. Alrighty, here we go. Here is Bitcoin on the daily time frame, price in US dollars, 77,843. Using the Bitstamp exchange price, and we're using the tradingview.com website. Nope. We had that fake out. Now, what do we talk about? About spikes on the daily time frame. What do we talk about daily time frames? Daily time frames don't mean a lot. Okay, it's where things close at on the weekly time frame, bare minimum. Okay, and dailies can have great closes. You can have a close above on a daily time frame. Look at this. Wow, 85 above $86,000. Fantastic. No, it's a daily close, and they mean nothing really. They've got to close on weeklies. So let me go to the weekly. Excuse me, we had a close technically just above that $86,000 level, which we've been talking about right there, but it wasn't high enough to say it was convincing, okay? And then we had a spike, but it closed the weekly below. Then what did we do? We had a spike back up. Everyone went, oh, that's it, man. We are back and onwards. And then what happened on the daily time frame? No, F you, bro. It closed below. Not a good setup, okay? Big spike in the upward direction. We don't like the big spikes in the upward direction because it says the sellers are in control of the market. And they said, yeah, no, you don't. Failure to close the week above that 86 and then smack down. So here we are right now. I don't know where the price is going, and neither do you. But we can say for now, it is not going, it's not confirmed in another bull market or a continuing bull market. This bull market could be completely over. It's not until at least closing above that $86,000, $85,900, $86,000 level. That's got to do that, okay? It's got to do this or else, okay? And really, and as I have been saying for a while, we had this level drawn in of $96,000, $97,000. Where are we? My fib? Is that my fib? No. Is that my fib? That's my fib. Who's my fib? That's my fib. Right there at the 0.618, okay? That's the area you need to get through. Right there. Cool. Start closing above $97,000. Yeah, we'll start talking turkey onwards and upwards. Great. Nowhere near it. We're heading in the opposite direction at the moment. We have found still 76,600 is the bottom so far. We have a lot of people calling for 72 to 74,000 US dollars. So if enough people are calling it, that doesn't necessarily mean you get there, okay? If everyone's calling, oh, we're going to 72,000, then, you know, whales might step in and not take that and not let you have that. But there is the range right there. Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it? Right there, 72,000 to 74,000 roughly. Okay, right in there. That's where people are expecting it to come down to. Sure, if it does, it absolutely has to hold, or else we are FUCK'd. Okay, I don't want to put more money in the swear jar today. We are effed up the wazoo. If you start doing that, ooh, not good. Change of market structure, and then and down we go. Cool, cool. Won't even talk about lower prices from there. Let's just remain above that 74. That's the line. I really don't want to cross at 74. No, thank you. Okay. On the weekly time frame, on the relative strength index, trending down at the moment. On the daily, on the relative strength index, we have room to move down lower. Okay, so there is room to move to go back into extremely oversold or undervalued as well. That can push it down to that 72 to 74 level. That just really has to hold. Cool, cool. That's all you really need to know. Start closing above 86,000. I'll get cautiously optimistic. Close above $97,000. Oh man, onwards and upwards, and that is just go, go, go. Okay, but anywhere between there and there, I don't know, and neither do you. Okay, could just totally fake you out. I'll be more positive after 86,000. Cool, cool. That's Bitcoin. Oh, shit. Oh, and it's another dollar in the swear jar. Others, the altcoin market, others, not looking good. Okay, others, which is the top, is the altcoin market, the entire altcoin market minus the top 10. We are down below, down chiggers. We are down below this trend line, not looking great. However, saying all that, of course, what goes up must come down. What goes down does go up again. Okay, so we might be getting to an area of a bit of a relief. Okay, if this happens to be that point, then you need to, if we take it from here, if this is the bottom, and I'm not saying it is, if it is, okay, if this is the point right here at $187 billion market cap, then we would take it from this high and this low, okay, and then you would need to see the new range in which we need to break out of, and you've got to see it break out of here. That would be it, and look, you can just comfortably say it's got to close back above the uptrend line. I guess you can call it that. But yeah, no bueno, no go. But if this is the bottom, then you could probably see a move back up. You'll probably see a move back up to about 212 billion at bare minimum, probably. Okay, because market goes, it zigs and zags, as ASX Trader says, as many others do. It goes up and down. So if this, and this is the if, right? If this is the bottom, like here at the short-term bottom, okay, then look for a move up to around about 210, 212 billion US dollars. So that might be a nice little relief rally, but that's got to clear. Okay, you got to clear back above here, and then yeah, great, cool. Okay, this is a great little bottom, and then it's a fake out. Fantastic, onwards and upwards, probably. Okay, nowhere near there yet. Cool, that is general crypto. Let's take a look at some specific crypto. Just the ones these are the ones I like to look at every now and then because they are the ones that I'm keeping my eye on to get back into because I like their fundamentals. Okay, this is ACH, Alchemy Pay, but not doing great from a fiat dollar price perspective. We have broken below that 2 cent level. So finally, that 2 cent level right there was taken out, and yeah, okay, we need to close back above it. That's all you really need to know. Start doing this. Maybe this is a fake out on the weekly time frame. Sure. Okay, do that. Okay, we'll go, oh, all right. Okay, you start closing back above there. Can you see that right there? That is at 2.2 cents. Start closing back above there, and we'll go, okay, yeah, cool. All right, well, maybe this is a false breakdown, and onwards, upwards we go. We need to get back above 3 cents. I'm not even interested in Alchemy Pay until we get above 3 cents. And then, of course, as you all know, I just have to shift this over a little bit. I will get back into Alchemy Pay if we ever do, get back above 3 cents and 4 cents and we hold it. Get back above 4 cents, hold it. Go, go, go time for me for Alchemy Pay. I love what it does. Look into it yourself from the fundamental perspective. Price perspective sucks. Not getting into it until at least 4 cents, and that's like more than double than where we are here. Am I happy to miss a more than doubling in the price from here? Yep, because that would confirm strength. Okay, I'm not getting in until it confirms strength, and it's not doing that for me at the moment. That is ACH. Let's take a look at XRP. I saw someone on Twitter on X say XRP looks like the one that's holding up the best. Is it? Okay, I'm not quite sure about that, but looks like we're playing out my scenario of where we've broken that $2.10 line. Sorry for all the squiggles, okay? I feel like Mr. Squiggle. Does anyone know Mr. Squiggle? If you're in Australia, you know who Mr. Squiggle is. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. You could say maybe that's the play out of that. 210 billion has been broken, so we are at least coming down to the best buy zone. That's $1.70 anywhere to $1.30, and I'm going to. My bias is to $1.30. Okay, but watch out for the $1.70 level as an area of support. Yeah, you could do that, sure. Do that, start closing above $2.60. That's my final hurdle for new all-time highs and like a break of market structure, and then onwards and upwards we go. Okay, actually I wouldn't say break of market structure, but I'll just say that's a really good hurdle for me, $2.60. Start doing that, and then we'll talk onwards and upwards. No, we're heading down, people, probably. Watch out for $1.70 at least. And we're at $1.90 right now. That's XRP. And I will take a look just for the fam. Okay, it's looking pretty dire, but I will show you. Ooh, UFD too. Ouch! I wouldn't want to be in UFD. Okay, here it is. Let me quickly show it to you right now. Cool. Here is Toshi. Good old Toshi on the daily time frame priced in USD. 00022. We're at the top end of that support area that I did mention a little while ago. Okay, would be the top end of the new support area if we were to continue down. We're at that right now. So that's anywhere between 0.00022 to 0.00018. Okay, watch out for there as a potential support level. Are you still in? Okay, Toshi was the flavor of Coinbase for a little bit, where it was announced it would be listed on Coinbase, and then a bit of a consolidation. Then it actually got listed on Coinbase. Okay, don't you love my sound effects? To a high of 0.0022. Now we're at 0.00022. That's a big dip, people. Okay, very large dip. Could dip even further. You really want to see. If crypto is going to continue down, then Toshi's going to continue down. If crypto is going to bottom from here, then rising tide raises all ships. Toshi will come back up with it. It's listed on Coinbase. It's Brian Armstrong's cat. If meme coins are going to go big and strong again, then I would imagine Toshi would be one of those. If you are still holding Toshi, let me know. If you've cut your losses, let me know. It's always not a bad idea to cut your losses sometimes as well. Live to fight another day. But the absolute bottom that you really don't, a big support level and one that you do not want to cross is this uptrend line. Very clearly, this is a logarithmic chart. So it's around about, I don't know when it would hit, but look at it for around about 0.00015, 0.00016. It just depends on where it hits, okay? You would want to see a bounce there, okay? Yes, I don't know if it's going to do this, right? But you need to see that bounce. If you do this, ooh, yeah. Okay, so yeah, find a bounce there, please, or anywhere from here in this area here. That's where you need to see it bounce, right there. Otherwise, bad news bears or bad news cats. For Toshi, the cat, the meme coin of base chain, will not be excited at all for Toshi until we at least cross them. Now I'm going to have to say, look, a change of market structure, it's going to be here. Okay, I'll pop it in here for you. Now I will start getting cautiously optimistic if we start closing above 0.0004. Okay, 0.004, get stuffed. Right there, 0.004, cautiously optimistic. Don't worry about the spelling. Don't worry about the spelling. 0.0004. I'll be cautiously optimistic, but it's nowhere near it until at least 0.0007. Then we'll talk about higher prices from there. That's Toshi. Let me know if you're in. Let me know if you cut your losses. If you're still gung ho. If you're buying more down here. If you're like, no, this is my coin, man. What a huge community and an amazing community. Let me know below if you are still in. That is Toshi. Final comments and queries, and we'll get out of here. Let's go down. You have to go. Well, that's good. No worries. Oh, Tanag the Clown. Hello, everyone. Tanag the Clown. Good to see you, my friend. You are watching Good Morning Stackers here, live on X and on YouTube. Hit the big red subscribe button to join the GMS family. You get a warm and fuzzy feeling all up in your bits when you do. We're nearly out of here. People. Tony has to go. You've got a heap of mail outs that need to make the express post. Have a great day, everyone. Oh, if you got to go, you got to go. Let's see. CT says my CPAP has Lugol's and hydrogen peroxide in it every night. Are you talking about this old thing, right? Right. It has Lugol's and hydrogen peroxide. Wow, I use hydrogen peroxide, but not to breathe into it. Oh, that's interesting. All great lung cleansing suggestions. Lugol's. Iodine. Yes. Iodine. Yes, I gargle every now and then with iodine. So I don't breathe it in. I use the betadine iodine. That is great for sore throats, for any viral things. Back in 2020, in that time, I bought like a bulk pack of betadine, providine iodine to gargle every day just to keep the away. Yeah. And some nitrous oxide. So, Jason, I'm learning more. I'm learning more about you every day, Jason. Nitrous oxide, hey? You should nebulize colloidal silver, Joe. No. Yeah, it's an odd-looking vape. Yeah, that's right. That's funny. Let's see. I think we're at the end of the show, people. I think so. Quite possibly. That was my thumbnail. Or I'll do this. Ready? Here's my thumbnail for today. And do my thumbnail. Oh, can I do that? That goes that side. That goes that side. Ready? Here's my thumbnail for today. There you go. And what I do is I erase the little things at the top. You'll see it. You'll see it later on, people. Yeah. You got to go. I got to go. The thing's waning. We've talked about gold, silver, Bitcoin, crypto. We've had a bit of a hangout and a chat. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Monday, the 7th of April, 2025. My name is Joe Main from Melbourne in Australia. You are watching Good Morning Stackers, the weekdaily live show. You'll get another one tomorrow. What we do here is we do the synchronized slurp at the start of the show. We do the synchronized slurp at the end of the show, and we also dance it out because what else are you going to do with your time? Are you going to be working? No. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do it. grab your tasty beverages. This has been
Oh yeah, we're feeling fine. It's podcast time.
Grab It.
Grab a tasty beverage. Let's get in the groove.
Let's do that.
Synchronize.
3, 2, 1,
now
go.
We're on the move.
Ooh, good slapping. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. Stay safe, stay informed. Keep stacking whatever you're stacking at the low prices that you're stacking it. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.